But my next guest is going to have something to say about this. Please welcome to the show, Dan Geltrude. Dan, thanks for being on. All right. I don't know. This is another one of those height of ridiculousness ones. What are we going to do with this? I mean, there's so many flaws with it, I don't even know where to begin, so I'll let you begin.
All right. Well, we'll start off with this. This is ridiculous legislation. It's just a money grab. First of all, you cannot prove that oil companies are causing climate change, get this, in Vermont, meaning big oil is making the winters shorter in Vermont and causing flooding. I mean, what's next here, Scott? Vermont is going to go after China and India next by saying, hey, listen, you guys are polluting the earth and we don't like it in Vermont. Now, what really is the answer here? So if they're saying the big oil knew that they were going to be causing global warming, should they have shut down decades ago? And then what happens? You just leave Vermont cold, dark, and starving without any oil?
I know.
I mean, it's crazy. And on top of that, although they're saying, well, when we get this money, we're going to buy flood properties, we're going to upgrade infrastructure, we're going to protect the electric grids. But how is any of that compensation, Scott, going to reverse climate change? I don't see it.
Well, yeah, you're right. I totally agree with you, number one. Number two, how are they going to prove that they knew? I mean, that's going to be impossible. That's impossible if you ask me, number one. Number two is this. There's been a lot of studies about climate change, at least temperature change. I'm not even going to call it climate change, but I mean, in this article, they reference like shorter winters. I think there was something in there about that, right? But without a doubt, and by a factor of a lot, cold kills way more people than warm, right? Than heat. So do the so-called energy companies get credit for saving lives over this 30-year period? I mean, arguably you could say that if it's warmer, because by I think it's a factor of 10 that cold kills more people than heat does. So I mean, what about the positive effects too? They haven't even mentioned that. So I don't know if there's anything more ridiculous I've heard of in the last 6 months, except for maybe student loan paybacks. But other than that, this is another one that takes the cake.
Scott, look, this if there's going to be litigation over this, and depending on who has the deepest pockets, and we know big oil has the resources to be able to take this all the way to the Supreme Court, there's part of me that actually wants to see it go all the way, because I actually want to see the argument that's put forth where you can definitively say big oil knew their product was going to cause climate change and make the planet warmer, and therefore we're going to have to quantify what that amount is. I have no idea what that would be, and they're going to pay it. Now, let's be really crazy and say Vermont wins that case. Now, every single state lines up behind it, and now we bankrupt all the oil companies, so we have no more oil, and the environmentalists get exactly what they want. A dark country.
Right. And I got another idea. But here, I'm thinking this. They're sitting around a table, and they come to the realization that as a state, they're probably broke. All right? And maybe as a big city, they're probably broke. Where can we get more money? Well, we've raised real estate tax to a level that don't think we can squeeze any more out of that stone. I know. I have an idea. Let's go after the big oil companies. They've got all the money. So I got a feeling it's got a little bit about, like you said, it's got a little bit to do with money, too, because none of these states have any money left.
That's exactly right. There's no question about the fact that this is a money grab. And what are they hoping for? Maybe there's a settlement, but there's no way big oil is going to settle this. There's no way. So if Vermont is going to fight it, big oil is going to fight it, maybe it goes right to the Supreme Court and we see where this lands. I can't imagine Vermont winning this lawsuit. I can't imagine it.
And climate change, when they want to talk about it, going way back, it's probably back when we were worried about things cooling, not heating, right? Remember, it first started off as, here comes the next ice age. Anyway, this is going to be great to watch. I'm glad I'm maybe a spectator. But anyway, thank you very much, Dan. Great story.